This is Coda Radio, episode 245 for February 14th, 2017. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Coda Radio, Jupiter Broadcasting's weekly talk show, taking a pragmatic look at the art and business of software development and related technologies. This episode is brought to you by our two fine sponsors, DigitalOcean and Scale Your Code. I'll tell you more about those great sponsors as this here show goes on. My name is Chris, and joining us almost just like it was yesterday, but a little more romance. Why, yes, it's our host, Mr. Dominic. Hello, Mike!
Happy Valentine's Day, baby.
Happy Valentine's Day, honey. You know, I am spending Valentine's Day with you instead of my significant other, which, let's be honest, that means you're my significant other. But we already knew that.
You know, you and I love each other, but we can't be together. So let's make like a Russian fighter jet and just buzz the top of each other.
Okay. All right. Or influence a Trump admin, depending on your situation.
Oh, well, I mean, why not both?
So we dug ourselves out of a sort of a travel episode yesterday. We hadn't talked for a little while, and so that we are recording for time purposes the day after. Now, for you guys listening, it won't really matter. I should probably not even mention all of this, but just so you know, if anything major crazy happens, that's why maybe it didn't get mentioned here. But we do have some immediate follow-up already from yesterday's episode. We've already had people download and write us in. Peter wrote in and said, thanks for your earlier advice on managing a solo developer. I'd like to weigh in on the .NET renaissance that you guys talked about last episode. So let's get into the feedback right now, Mike, and then we'll jump into all of the other topics, the meaty things that we have set up for today's episode. So Peter writes, one key demographic may be the small local group that has to use MS Tools because their parent corporate group already has the Microsoft stack. I would much prefer other more future-proof technologies, but since we already have IIS and SQL, I'd rather not swim upstream. My team thinks that I'm an open source heretic. In this case, Microsoft's decision to make .NET open source gives me some peace of mind. It's not only my first choice, but it's gotten much better lately. It is reminiscent of an old adage, no one ever got fired for buying IBM. Thanks again, the show is great. Mace wrote in too on Twitter to sort of echo those thoughts. Mace said that .NET is big in healthcare, which are huge applications, and I definitely experienced that firsthand even years ago, that .NET had a huge market there. And those apps, they're so expensive. And Mays also said that I use C# at work, and I've been pushing for mono/core to avoid irrelevance, which sort of echoes some of the things we suspected. So I liked our take. I think looking back at it, Mike, it's only been 24 hours, but I liked our take on the .NET Renaissance thing. It's sort of like we said, it's for those that have already invested after all of these years, these moves that Microsoft have made have probably made them feel like they're going to continue that investment and feel better about it.
Yeah, it's only been one day because of our recording schedule, but yeah, I think it's. I think the feedback is definitely echoing that.
All right, I like that deep analysis you have on it. That's good. That's good.
Deep.
I liked also Peter for rushing that in for us, so that way we could get it here on the show. If you want to get feedback to us, go to jupiterbroadcasting.com/contact or go to coderadio.reddit.com.
So, Chris,
yes,
it's Valentine's Day.
Yes.
You know how sometimes in relationships you get in an argument and someone wins.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean,
then you relitigate the argument, right? And now you're fighting again.
Yeah.
And then someone wins.
Yeah.
But perhaps you come back again to relitigate that argument. I mean, you and I don't do that because our love, let me take a sip of wine, is true. Yes,
and
I'm
deep.
having red wine for our romantic show today.
Okay.
But do you know who we might need to get, Dr. Phil in here for?
Oh, who?
Which bromance has been broken? That is, of course, the bromance between Oracle and Google.
Oh, my brother. It is so on like Donkey Kong. Again, Oracle has filed an appeal in the copyright lawsuit against the Googs. Of course, this is about the May ruling that favored Google's use of the software that Oracle claimed did not fall under fair use. The appeal, filed Friday, drags out a dispute that has its roots going back to 2010 when Oracle first sued Google for using its software, which Oracle owns. Dark Cloud, welcome back.
This is unbelievable.
I mean, except for we knew this was going to happen.
Well, of course they're going to appeal until they can't appeal, right? Until some judge says no, you're done. But do people care about this still? I mean, I didn't write it below. Okay.
No, I don't think I care. And I think it could have big ramifications long term for Android if Oracle's successful. And I think I personally think because of those emails they have a good, those emails were not considered in the last case. The emails where Google basically says, we're going to have to either license this or fight it out in court. Ha ha ha. Those emails weren't in the last case. And you got to imagine they're going to be in this appealed case.
Oh my God. I mean, that might be Oracle's only evidence, right?
I don't know. Or it just proves that they knew that they were doing something, but it still doesn't change the fundamental fact that it's fair use. The court could still rule that way.
So how did the last case go? Fair use, Oracle, essentially. Fair use, Google's
fair use. Oracle needs to STFU, can't copyright APIs, which is what everybody glommed onto as the big thing at stake here. And that's why the whole internet got behind Google without really looking at the entire case.
Well, I remember that. We were on the other side of the coin there.
Yeah. Of course, we were just wrong according to the internet.
But an Oracle win, that wouldn't necessarily mean developers couldn't use Java. In fact, I think it would have no
might
impact.
Mean that Google has to pay some sort of royalty or something to it.
And damages because it's been 8 years or whatever.
Yeah, and they showed intention to do it originally early on in the process.
Right, so they would be considered malicious, I guess.
I don't know. What am I? I ain't a lawyer, but I'll tell you what. It seems like Oracle has a good case. So I knew they'd take it. I knew they'd be going to appeals. It's disgusting, though, and I wonder if it could have any kind of crazy ramifications. I think that's what I fantasize about. Is all of a sudden Google announces, "All right, Android 10, we're switching away from Java."
See, I've been. This is our topic for later in the show, but I've been looking at doing some embedded stuff, and I was reading up on the current state of Java Micro Edition, Java ME. It's not awesome. Oracle, I mean, let's pour one out for Sun real quick. Oracle just hasn't done much.
Yeah.
At all. I mean, a lot of the Java stuff is happening in the open source space on the JVM,
I agree.
The platform Java, but not in these really new areas of like IoT or physical computing, things like that. And I was a little disappointed because I mean, maybe we should do the rest of the hoopla, but I'm looking for an alternative for C++ because, well, let's do the hoopla.
Okay.
You know what?
Yeah, that's a good
blow
tease.
Your mind.
Oh, really? Well, okay. So we have.
I picked up a toy.
I have a little Rust news that I've included in here because we get a lot of people who write in or leave us comments and they say, guys, you really got to talk about Rust more. You talk about Swift too much. Talk about Rust. So I want to include that. So you know what? Let's do this because DigitalOcean has some big news today. It broke just a couple of moments before we went on air. So let's mention DigitalOcean. It's a great way to support the show and get yourself on-demand infrastructure at an incredibly great price with fantastic performance and a very straightforward API. Data centers all over the world and a UI that's so easy to use. It doesn't matter if you've never set up a server before or if you've been managing servers for 15 years. DigitalOcean.com. Go over there and use our promo code CODERDIGITAL after you sign up. You apply that to your account, and you get a $10 credit. You can play around with their $5 rig, 2 months for free, or try out their 3 cents an hour machine. This thing's a monster for 3 cents an hour. 2 gigabytes of RAM, 2 core processor, 40 gigabyte SSD, and 3 terabytes of transfer. But I wondered if people realize too that it's not just about testing things out, deploying a droplet really quick. It can also be about building long-term back-end infrastructure. A lot of folks do it, and it's easy to scale up as you need on DigitalOcean. In fact, I saw a note from an Azure employee who says that I use DigitalOcean because it's the right tool for the job, and they just got even better. Load balancers. Now you can scale your applications and improve availability across your infrastructure in just a few clicks. It's built right into DigitalOcean. It's simple to set up. It's so slick. You can scale your applications to make sure they meet demand. I was actually considering doing something like this for our file distribution because Libsyn is just a pain in my butt sometimes. And I've, 3 droplets and this load balancer system, I may be able to do it. It's incredible what you might be able to do with just $20 a month at DigitalOcean. It's incredible compared to the kind of infrastructures I used to build back in the day with physical rigs. You can do more with load balancers. You can be faster, more professional, rank better on Google searches. DigitalOcean.com. Use our promo code CODERDIGITAL when you spin up your rig. Get a $10 credit and support the show at DigitalOcean.com. So neither one of us are big Rust users, so bear that in mind as we go through this. But I do think it's important that we use the show as a platform to give it some attention from time to time. So this year, there is an overreaching theme. It is productivity, especially for early-stage Rust users. This is in the 2017 roadmap over at the Rust Programming Language blog. Here's a few key details for 2017 in a nutshell. Rust should have a lower learning curve. Rust should have a pleasant edit, compile, debug cycle. Rust should provide a solid but basic IDE experience. Rust should provide easy access to high-quality crates. Rust should be well-equipped for writing robust, high-scale servers. Rust should have a 1.0 level crates for essential tasks. And Rust should integrate easily into large build systems. And Rust community should provide mentoring at all levels. And they go into details about plans they already have in place for most cases to accomplish all of this. So it's not like they're just pie-in-the-sky stuff. This year, as the year progresses, expect to see many more blog posts announcing roadmap-related initiatives and milestones around the end of the year. We'll publish a retrospective aggregating the progress of the year and providing a guide to the current state of Rust. If you see these crop up, please help me cover it in future shows by submitting it to coderradio.reddit.com, because this is really first of a series. But they say by the end of 2017, they want to have earned this slogan: Rust, fast, reliable, productive. You can pick 3. Get it? Instead of fast, reliable, like the old pick 1, this is you can pick 3.
Fast, reliable, affordable, yeah. Or what is it? Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, and this is fast,
good, fast, or cheap. That's
yeah. This is fast, reliable, or productive. Pick 3. I like that, dude. So there's your Rust there. That officially closes out the hoopla. That was the Rust. That was the Rust stuff. So Internet of Things, not the Java mecca we all thought it might once be. That was your lead-in. How do you like that? Was that good? Was that really good?
I like that a lot.
Did you get blown? You were so impressed by that lead-in. You were verklempt.
I'm rarely verklempt. Verklempt indeed. Okay, so are we good for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I think we teased it good. I think I'm ready to jump in.
We all know that I love Java Duke.
Everybody knows that.
Big fan. I'm clinging to my Java, but I'm doing a project that I'm going to keep teasing here. Required me to pick up a 3D printer.
No way.
So there was a part of my trip in Denver that I did not share yesterday, Chris, because I was waiting. I was luring you into a false sense of security.
Clever boy.
Have you heard of Lulzbot? I put okay. I picked up one of their Lulzbots. It's on order right now. Atta
boy! Really? Oh man, I am so excited about the future of 3D printing. I really, really just think this is gonna be like a perfect hobby for my kids and I one day.
Started out with the Mini. We're going to start small, but I have a feeling in a few months we'll have to move up to the Taz. And I can't see the live stream, but do we need to cover what 3D printing is? We don't, right?
Well, I would like to hear what you are excited about it, because for me, I look at it as like an opportunity really with my kids, but there's so much more to it. Everybody knows essentially what 3D printing is, but
for quick in quotes, right? Quick prototyping of small hardware devices, little gadgets that could be programmed on microcontrollers. Think about little Internet of Things devices, probably mostly in the household space, printed on these machines for prototyping, so you could test it out.
Yeah, I've seen at conferences and stuff, people that do this a lot. They'll build sometimes it's just cases for Raspberry Pis or custom boards that they've built with ARM chips on them, and they just here's the case for it, fits in here, and this is how I travel to different events.
Yeah,
cool, man.
Yeah, there is a ton of things going on. In fact, I was able to take a look at some filament that was made with bamboo.
No.
Yes.
Where did you see that at System 76?
So System 76 was hosting the Lulzbot guys.
Oh, okay.
So on the side, I had a very long conversation with, I think their CEO, Michael. And I was printing, I was playing with it, I was touching filament, came back home, basically immediately ordered one.
I love it.
Yep. So we are going to be going in an interesting and slightly different direction in addition to everything else.
Wait, does this mean the Internet of Things is dead?
Oh no. Sorry guys, 3D printing's over.
Yeah, 3D printing's over and Internet of Things is dead.
It's weird. I walk into the bar and people are like, check please, check.
I gotta get out of here. This guy's a killer.
Yeah, so I'm deeply excited. I should have it hopefully by March 1st.
Fascinating.
It's fascinating. So that was my little toy tease.
I like it.
Because of that, I'm looking to do some stuff on microcontrollers. And I have a BeagleBone, I have an Arduino sitting here, and I have a Raspberry Pi 3 in the box right here. I've actually been giving them away to kids as presents for Christmas and birthdays.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah,
Good
I bought a whole bunch
too.
of. Yeah, well, there's a kit you can buy that has like the case, an HDMI cable, a data transfer cable, an AC power thing, and it has a little guide on like make your own retro NES clone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that great gift idea if you've got anybody with a birthday coming up. I'm having a hard time finding a software stack. I've done a little bit with Arduino. It's fine. I was hoping to do something slightly smaller. I love Java. I would like it to be Java, but there's obviously the performance characteristics of running the entire JVM is not awesome. But I gave Oracle the benefit of the doubt. I did some pretty extensive reading last night on the current state of Java ME, and I'm not sure how they didn't just win this entire space.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's sort of weird that like Java ME itself is pretty fragmented, and there doesn't seem to be just a lot of effort by Oracle, right? I mean, if you think about the whole copyright case we mentioned in the intro, Google picked Java because it was a platform you could make a small embedded system on relatively easy.
I was going to point that out too. Yeah, that was the idea.
Oracle just like hasn't done it for this whole IoT trend. So that's challenging. Now, I may still go with Java, but of course the default choice would be, a C++ like system, right? Or you could go full Arduino and use the. There are some disadvantages to going to Arduino, mostly cost. So if I want to produce these things and have them be, at all profitable in terms of selling them to end users or selling them on a wholesale basis, the Arduino hardware, because of the Arduino platform, is just a little too expensive. Now, theoretically, and this is something I'm toying with, you could buy Arduino like compatible to chips. Because Arduino, I believe now, what is the licensing on Arduino, Chris? I thought it was just totally like Libre, right?
I don't know for sure.
That's a good point. The Lulzbot is completely
yes.
Libre free.
Yeah, I wonder, in fact, if you want, I was just going to mention it really quick. They say that we believe in Libre innovation, hardware and software that is free and open for anyone to use and improve upon. And they link to everything essentially right here on their main page, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, they actually had the specs are open source. You could theoretically, if you wanted to and had the skills, go ahead and just like make your own.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now actually. Wow, they just have it all posted online. That's pretty awesome. So that's pretty good that's pretty good for your position when you're trying to prototype.
Trying to prototype, and it's pretty good because you can. I think it was like $1,200. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, on the price. But the Mini is $1,200. Yeah, and the Pro or the Taz they call it is like $2,600. But you can start with the Mini and then step up to the Taz if you need to. So now I'm at the point of okay, we're going to have the printing for the cases and the bodies. Let's take a look at the software. Well, C++ is biting off quite a big bear. Using a platform like Arduino may make this like maybe okay for a prototype, but would probably be cost untenable because of the kind of the baggage you get with Arduino, right? And that's baggage in like a positive way. Because Arduino is a hobbyist kit, so trying to do something commercial, you're paying more because it's a hobbyist kind of thing. I found this framework called GoBot that seems to have a lot of compatibility with a lot of different microcontrollers and drivers for different devices.
So is this like a Golang framework?
Golang, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, ideally, I would of course want this in Objective-C.
Yeah, of course you would.
I want everything in Objective-C, and frankly, I'm just not going to get that.
GoBot is a framework for robots, drones, and the Internet of Things, written in the Go programming language.
Yeah, so that is a pretty up there contender. Obviously, Rust is a good choice. That's one of the reasons I was excited to see Chris put Rust in the show notes today.
Yeah.
Because it is, the C, Golang and Rust, right, are kind of the C. People who are going to write me about Swift, to my knowledge, one, I don't think Swift is a good choice just because of like manpower available to me. And two, I don't think that there is anything like this in Swift at this juncture.
Oh, Swift, yeah. Oh, wow. Look at GoBot though. Jeez, they got
no, they've got a lot.
They got GoBot a lot of platforms they support right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that.
Well, I mean, GoBot, I have, like, I was looking at their page, and you could go to, it's gobot.io.
Mm-hmm.
I have about 6 of these things in a desk somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could start tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, and I could buy my kid the BB-8 bot, because apparently you can program that with GoBot.
I see that, yeah. I have, of course, the contenders that probably a lot of folks in our audience have, they've got the Raspberry Pi, and they've got the chip, which was the super, super cheap. They've got the BeagleBone Black, Arduino.
That BeagleBone Black, by the way, is a beast.
Yeah. I really like the Intel Edison. I think that's cool. But
I could not get my hands on an Edison.
Yeah, who can?
Where did you buy that?
No, I've only seen them at conferences. I've never gotten I've never been able to. They got a few drones on here.
Yeah, they have the AR drone and the mini drone, which I know a few people who have.
And the Leap Motion, which would be a cool way to interact with it.
Have you ever seen an Ollie? It's a kid's toy, right? I saw it in a store once.
No, I haven't. No, it looks cute. It must be.
It's like a BB-8.
Yeah, a
weird
little
cousin.
rolly thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What really kind of ranked me out about the GoBot framework is they have support for a bunch of these add-ons as well.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and you can buy standard relays, standard servos, standard motors, LEDs, things like that.
Mm-hmm. And
they have drivers already, where a lot of the smaller competitors just don't. And that's like, small shop, we're still doing consulting, but this is just something I'm personally very interested and passionate about, and I want to kind of take a crack at. Getting into the business of having to write drivers would be very hard.
I see too that they have 5 analog drivers, like the Groove temperature sensor, the Groove sound sensor, which would be useful in your location right now, the Groove rotary, and a light sensor.
Yeah, there's a lot of background sound, sorry.
It's all right, it's all right. I know you got business people doing business things back there with the business papers. I like, too, they worked with the Wiimote. That's hilarious. There's a lot of cool stuff for this. And, of course...
Oh, and they ate a fruit, too. I mean, so it's pretty open. I mean, the only problem is you have to use that Golang.
Yeah, well... It's problem or advantage, my friend, huh?
Well, I think it's going to be the one I go with, because JetBrains, pay for a fucking ad.
What the heck?
Is actually doing a Go IDE.
Okay, so before we get into there, let's pause there and let's mention scaleyourcode.com. Go over there and sign up for their private newsletter. 2 to 3 emails a month of great, fantastic interviews and resources. Real good stuff with real experts in the field that really know this thing, know what they're doing, have solved big challenges. See how they run their platforms, get an inside look at companies and the way they grow their infrastructure and solve those difficult engineering challenges. It's a resource that surrounds you with industry experts. Scaleyourcode.com, that's where you go to sign up. I was just looking at Jeff Atwood's interview on Scale Your Code. This is cool, on building discourse and Stack Exchange. That is the best. He's also he's currently a blogger. He's now an all about entrepreneur. I love that word. And of course, he co-founded Stack Overflow and Stack Exchange as well. He writes at Coding Horror still. And this is just a fascinating interview. It's one of many. You get video and audio on some of these too. Check it out. ScaleYourCode.com. Go sign up for the newsletter. Get the access that you want, so that way you can watch the interviews, find out when new ones get posted. There's so many good ones up there, too. There's engineers from Google, Etsy, Heroku, Shopify, Docker's up there. Chief architect of Reddit is up there. The guy that created the Netflix site reliability engineering team is up there. The founder of Ruby on Rails and the CTO of Basecamp. We got an interview with him. Check it all out. ScaleYourCode.com. Go sign up and get access. And it's nice because you can unsubscribe at any time. And it's just 2 to 3 emails a month. That's no big deal. It's nice. ScaleYourCode.com. Thanks to Scale Your Code for sponsoring the Coder Radio program. Okay, you maniac. Are you talking about the JetBrains Toolbox? Are you talking about a JetBrains IDE? Is this some new product they're launching?
So as an aside, I happen to mention they have GoLand, which is going to be a Go IDE.
Stop it.
Yes, if you like IntelliJ, Android Studio, I'm not naming all the IDEs, there's just too many, but like, you know, PHP Storm, WebStorm, whatever, and you like Go, well, they have GoLand coming out. I'm serious.
I gotta go look this up. Announcing GoLand. Well, how did I miss that?
Yeah.
That came out in December. Well, I'm the last person to probably know. I'll put a link to it in the show notes if you guys didn't know. Okay, well, that makes sense. You know what? That does make sense. I say good on them. JetBrains.com/go. Aha! Look at that.
See what they did there. Yeah, so I've actually just installed yesterday their new JetBrains Toolbox. I'm trying it out on my Lemur.
And this is not related to GoLand at all. This is...
No, that's our tool of the week, the Toolbox.
The tool of the week. JetBrains Toolbox. How about that? The tool of the week is a toolbox, a one-stop access to all your coding tools. All of them, Mike. And look at this with the screenshots in Unity. Look at that.
Yeah, that's right. And more importantly, it goes ahead and like manages updating them, which is weirdly a pain in the ass on Linux.
Oh, so it sort of handles the package management.
It handles everything. It handles the install location, all that kind of crap.
So is this like a creative cloud client that you download and you log in and get access to the...
That's exactly what it's like. It's exactly what it's like. Yeah.
And more folks are doing this.
Yeah.
Not JetBrains is not the only one doing this. But it's, I guess it kind of makes sense, and it kind of normalizes out that whole Linux packaging problem, doesn't it?
Yep, because now you just open your JetBrains, and it self-installs, so you run it, and it like puts itself somewhere and does everything. So
well, how about that? So that's the tool of the week. Hey, before we go, I wanted to just sort of float past you something that's kind of interesting. That's I know you flirthead from time to time. Speaking of Valentine's Day, with the Elementary OS desktop environment for yourself.
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Monsieur Elementary.
Yes. Well, right now they are doing a fundraiser to do a pay-what-you-want app store. So it's still sort of targeted at open source software, but the idea here is, and they already have some demo code written up with screenshots.
Yes. I listened to this on last and was yelling at the phone.
Good or bad? So what do you think of this? A simple pay-for-what-you-want system built into their app store.
I think it shouldn't be mandatory, and free should not be an option.
Oh, really? So yeah, they're going to make free an option. Free will still be an option. You know, I mean, you know, I guess that's because it's for open source software.
Yeah, I mean, because it's open. So to be clear, in the instance of this being open source only, which it currently is, by my understanding, I think that's okay.
You'd like it though if they ever had made commercial application support to have a minimum requirement.
Well, I would almost like two separate places then, because the problem is then you make it impossible to compete with the free software. I mean, have you ever heard of the App Store where the prices just kept going down and down and down and down and down?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Let's just do it. So Chris put something in the show notes that I selected all on.
Wait, I think I already deleted it even. I think I deleted it from the show notes.
Deleted it and I put no.
Are you going back there? Are you bringing this back?
I'm going there because you mentioned the elementary thing, so let's do it.
All right.
Uncle Eddie, Crazy Eddie,
Grandpa Q,
has got a new show for you to watch.
Yeah.
On Apple Music, because that makes sense.
Yeah, I know. It already right there. It already doesn't make any sense at all.
Right.
What are they doing?
Called Planet of the Apps.
Planet of the Apps, Mike.
Did you see the little intro thing?
You mean there's what intro thing? Is there like a?
Did you watch the video?
Oh no, I didn't know there even was a video. Let me see this. Planet of the Apps.
Oh.
In every episode, app developers work to earn millions of dollars in venture capital investment. Yes. It begins with the pitch to 4 of the world's most culturally influential entrepreneurs. Will.i.am.
Developers, they're the rock stars of right now.
Jessica Alba.
Oh my God.
I have that gut and that intuition, and so far, it's been right.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
You've actually completely sold me on the tech advantage.
And Gwyneth Paltrow.
As consumers of news, we have a real trust issue.
The developers have just 60 seconds on the escalator to get
God,
one of our
they're gonna have an app about
advisors
fake news.
interested in their idea.
Are you ready to pitch? Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Everything we've done all comes down to this.
No!
We're the eBay for the Snapchat generation.
No! Revolutionize social media. Please explain that.
Some will be denied.
I see the person that can design it, but who's gonna build the business?
Those selected by an advisor partner with the best in the business.
Olivia knows through AI the best day and time to buy groceries.
I need this. This is a branding game. I'm the branding person for you.
Really?
Yes, really.
Last time I know, my brand is known all over the earth.
I'm going to go with Will.
Because I got gold shoes on.
This is going to be so awful.
It brings a whole new level of pain into my and I just watched this video when you put it in the show notes.
So this is Google, or I'm sorry, this is Apple doing like the Netflix original content thing. Only they can't get their heads out of the iPhone ass, so they had to make it about apps, and they had to make it sort of about showcasing the iPhone.
It's like shitty Shark Tank, which in itself is a weird statement, and
it's a big step down for Jessica Alba.
It's a huge step down
and
for
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, I don't really understand like what is going on here. I mean, I get why the entrepreneurs are right. They might actually get some money, so don't really begrudge that.
If anything made me concerned about the direction of Apple, it's that the management structure thought this had to at least go across Tim Cook's desk once, and Eddie Q obviously. I mean, I can't imagine this is going to be a success. This is going to be like their social features to their music stuff. This is going to quietly disappear.
So what really strikes me as like totally tone deaf about this is if you had released this in like 2012, I'd be like, you know what? People are still making money on the App Store. Makes sense. 2014, I'd be like, guys, things are kind of going bad. 2015, no. 2016, no. 2017.
Now you're just insulting me. Now you're insulting me.
Yeah, now it's just like, well, none of that. You're giving, like, these stories don't happen anymore. And not only that, the VC market has cooled significantly for app ideas. So, apps are great. They're very useful. Some of them are good and will make money, and many of them need to be built for businesses, and that's good. And it helps those businesses be more productive. But the idea that you're going to make an app and make $1 million is basically over.
Yeah, and they're essentially selling you a pipe dream that isn't possible. The market doesn't support. Isn't sustainable. It's literally
American Idol, rather, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, or Shark Tank or any of those. Yeah.
Right.
It's Gary V.
It's
Jessica Alba, will.i.am, and Gwyneth Paltrow, dude.
It's also deeply tone deaf to like the plight of their current developer community, who's basically going broke or going.
And it feels like, are you not paying attention to all of the things that are so much more important that need worked on?
Well, this is they thought that this would be a great hook for a TV service, right? Like somehow all of this crap is the orphan child of the Apple TV's inability to get cable.
Right.
deals.
This was going to be part of the Apple streaming service, and they were going to make original content. And this is one of the only things that stuck. And so now they're just sticking on Apple Music because that's their newest service they're trying to get everybody on.
Right. But from a developer perspective, this is just like super tone deaf to me. This is really
alarming.
Really, well, it makes me think that they sort of, I don't know how to say this. It adds a willfulness, right? Because it's one thing when like an idiot comes to you with an app idea and thinks he's going to be a millionaire. But if Apple's like actively pushing that narrative, that borders on, I don't know, it has a sort of puppy mill kind of feel to it to me.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Right, because you have clients, I definitely experienced this phenomenon where I worked with a client, they were actually an employer, who really thought they were going to have the next World of Warcraft. And it was hard to work with them. It was really hard because it was so obviously not going to be a big hit, but they thought Facebook games were the next big thing. And if they could get Facebook people to like and share their game status, the platform itself with billions of users would automatically make them huger than anything World of Warcraft could have ever been. And they went all in. And, teams of people worked on this stuff for a long time, and then it just died eventually. And I knew all along it was going to die. It's really hard because they bought into this narrative that Facebook was selling them, that because people are checking their Facebook feed and your game information showing up in their feed all the time, it's the best advertising you could ever get. And they bought it, and they went all in. It's kind of this all over again.
Yeah, this is you know, again, I just saw this, so I'm not even like sure I have all my thoughts gathered.
Yeah.
But
is there any chance it's going to be good?
As like a TV show?
Yeah, it's something you just watch from time to time when you want to kill 20 minutes.
No, if I want to watch garbage TV, I will watch Casa Cerrado.
Yeah.
Which is basically Spanish Judge Judy. But
You know what I could have been down for? Possibly is like a documentary of developers creating apps, what it's like to get it on the market. You know,
right? We could take them from filing out their SS4 to filing the Chapter 11 form. Oh,
that's so good, dude. That is. I gotta call it right there. That's too good not to end on. That is. All right. Go get more of that on the Twitter feed. Where should people follow you, Mr. Dominic?
At Dumanuko.
I love it. Follow me at Chris LES. And instead of watching Planet of the Apps, go watch the vlog. There might even be a little behind the scenes from this episode. YouTube.com/Chris Fisher. That's where you can find my arse. Also, Twitter.com/Chris LES for me, and Twitter.com/Jupiter Signal for the whole network. When you get live time changes, live stream updates, all of that, and JupiterBroadcasting.com/calendar for our live times. We'd love to have you join us when we're back at our regular live time next week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you then.